Checklists are a great way to recheck our understanding and our work. When building forms using the reactive approach, the component class is in charge. In that class, we create a property for the root form group. We use this property to bind the form element in the template. Then we create the form group instance and pass in each form control instance, like this. But we can simplify this code using the form builder. To use the form builder, we import it using an import statement. We inject the form builder instance into the class constructor, and we use that instance like this. The group method returns an initialized root form group instance with all of its associated form controls. Before we can use the reactive forms directives in our template, we need to pull them into our Angular module. We start by importing the reactive forms module using the import statement. We then add the reactive forms module to the imports array property of the ng module decorator, like this. This makes the reactive forms directives available to all templates associated with components defined in the declarations array. Note that our demo application has only one feature component, so it is defined in app module. In a real application, your form may be declared in a feature module. In that case, the reactive forms module should be added to the imports array of that feature module. We'll see this when we look at the APM sample application later in this course. We then bind the component's template to the form model. In the form element, we use the form group directive and property binding to bind to the root form group property we defined in the component class. In this example, that property was called customer form. In each input element, we use the form control name directive to bind to the name of the associated form control. The name we specify here is the name we set when creating the form control. And remember that these strings are case sensitive. After performing each of these steps, we have a reactive form managed by the form model we define in the component class. In this module, we converted our template-driven form into a basic reactive form. It began in the component class where we explicitly created instances of the form building blocks, form group, and form control. Next, we modified the application's Angular module to add the reactive forms module to the imports array and pull in the reactive forms directives. Then we updated the template elements to bind to the form group and form controls we defined in the component class. We tried out the set value and patch value to update the input element values from the component code. Lastly, we saw how to use the form builder to simplify the boilerplate code and create the root form group and its associated form controls with less cruft. But there's a bit more work to do. Let's look at validation next.